Good morning. My thanks to Robert for the opportunity to bring to you the situation in the part of the world that I live, South America. I can tell you it's not so easy to find all the figures, the numbers, but we grabbed a lot of information, and I'm very happy to present to you. I'm gonna give some general idea about South America first. Then I go a little bit deeper in Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay. I don't have time to go to the other countries. I show some figures about the other countries. Some projection about the future, the main difficulties and opportunities, and the conclusion. South America has 12% of the area of the Earth, and the population is 5.7. We are 12 countries, and only in the Guianas that there is no clinker production. And in all other countries we have clinker production. And even Brazil, South America, having 5.7% of the population, the total cement production in that area of the world is 2.8%. 4 countries, Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, and Peru, represent 8% of South America's cement market. It's concentrated in that 4 countries. I use this graphic from ICRA technology paper for 2009, and you can see here that we do have here, this is where the forecasting thermal substitution for developing regions, and that is for the developed countries. And for my calculations, I arrived that South America countries, cement companies, are in 2016 a little bit above this curve here, and we are around 10% of you replacing if you count all South America countries that produce cement. Brazil has 50% of the area of South America and 50% of the population of South America. Brazil has 24 industrial groups operating in cement in Brazil, and with the capacity with 100 million tons of cement. Due to all the problems that we have in the economy in Brazil for the last 4 years, the production went down in 2016 to 57 million tons per year of cement. In terms of co-processing, the average 2016 was 50% of fuel replacement for the Brazilian cement industry, and some plants in Brazil achieving 50% of substitution rate. Also, what is important to say is that we have a lot of waste treatment plant. I included here also the tires, shred tires installation. We have more than 150 waste treatment facilities in Brazil, little ones, big ones, good, very good ones, not so good other ones, but we had a lot of market running in that direction. And another important issue of Brazil is that 100% of the used tires are collected, and 60% goes to the cement industry in Brazil. From the Brazilian Association of Cement Partners, ABCP, we have this information here. You see that 84% comes from pet coke, basically, 85%. 11%, 10.8, comes from Solid waste, tires. Then you have blended waste, solid blended waste, most of it hazard waste, and just 5% in terms of volume and tonnage comes from liquid. Then we have 0.5 of the fuel comes from biomass, only 0.5. It's a huge opportunity here. And most of it is rice husk in the south of the country. And we do have 3.8% comes from charcoal, fines of charcoal. Used to be a huge market for Brazil because the iron industry in Brazil that used the charcoal were not capable to use the final particle of the charcoal. Then the cement industry used it. I do remember in '92, I was plant manager in one Lafarge cement plant in Brazil, and we achieved at that time 100% of fuel substitution by fines of charcoal. But charcoal, fines of charcoal, now start to be used each time more and more and more by the iron industry that they found technology to use it as fuel too. Difficulties in Brazil, zero from urban waste for the time being. Cost of transportation, a large country, has to be transported, most of it by trucks. Kilns require investment to increase substitution rate. To get a long-term contract with municipalities, it's a very difficult issue. In landfill companies, they have a very strong representation, politically, associations, etc. They are our main competitors. Opportunities, as I said, biomass, commercial and low hazard waste start to be a possibility, start to be used in Brazil. Urban waste, we can be the solution. Equipment suppliers, if you increase, it's a great opportunity to invest and to have business in Brazil. National waste policy that has been approved in 2010 says that you cannot send material with a source of energy to landfill. If we apply this in a real way that is written, it will be a great market for us too. Importation of fossil fuel, it becomes each time a little bit more difficult. And to transport from the coast to the center of the country in terms of logistics cost a lot. And it's time to have some opportunity for CDR's importation in the Atlantic coast of Brazil. Tendency, we see that we might achieve in 2019 around 20% in the total country of substitution rate, and utilization of municipal waste and no hazard waste is a possibility. Then let's go to Argentina. Argentina has an area, I would say 3 times less than Brazil, 3 or 4 times less than Brazil, but is the second country in South America and has the biggest GDP per capita in South America, $13,000 per year per capita. It's not a big cement industry, capacity 15 million tons capacity and production 11 million tons cement per year, 17 units and 4 industrial groups operating in Argentina. Basically, 80% of the clinker production has the capability to co-process, but we are very low in terms of fuel replacement in Argentina. This number 6.3 here. I brought from the Association of Cement Producers in Argentina. And Argentina has only 3 plants, basically, to prepare waste for energy. Difficulties: zero waste from urban waste, practically. 2017, zero of tires. Tires just are starting in Argentina. Cost of transport, it's a very large country. The capital, Buenos Aires, has 45% of the economy in population of Argentina, and it's far from the cement industry. Some provinces do not allow the transportation of waste among them. The waste has to remain in one province, most of the provinces, not all, most. And it's difficult to get a low contract to municipalities. Opportunity of Argentina. Tires, I received 2 environment ministry of Argentina, of the Macri government, try to see what we're doing in Brazil, to copy it and to install in Argentina. But so far, no big movement. Biomass also is opportunity. Industrial commerce, hazardous waste, urban waste, and also is a market for equipment suppliers. I imagine that we should arrive in 2019 around 10% of fuel replacement in Argentina. Just to give an idea for you, if Argentina wants to be in the same level of Brazil, 15%, just what we need is the tires. Just the tires will achieve this number. Yeah, and it's not difficult to burn tires, you know that. Then we have Paraguay, a small country for South America. It's a low GDP per capita, $6,000 per year per habitant. Cement producer, 2 groups, one national, belongs to the government, another one is a private one. But Paraguay is going faster in co-processing. Just starting in 2016, and in 2017 already achieved 8% of fuel replacement. Rice husks and used tire. Zero waste treatment for municipality and also for industry. Cost of transport is very difficult in Paraguay. Lack of roads, a lot of transport by rivers. We need to adapt the kilns. No existence of waste treatment facilities at all in Paraguay. Lack of disposal regulation, no national waste policy. Opportunity, biomass, used tires, that maybe going to regulation. And tends to be 15% in 2019. And same situation of Argentina. We just need the tires to achieve 15%. Then I put all the figures in 2016 from the countries Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, Peru, and Uruguay. I got the right numbers. From Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, I try hard, but I am using only the data from FICEM from 2011. And for Venezuela and for Bolivia, we do not have numbers, but I suppose be zero for this study. And doing the calculation, we arrive in the 9.9% of substitution. The numbers that I have, the right figure, represent around 70% of the cement production of the area. Most of the material are here, tires. Basically, most tires are in Brazil. Liquid waste, 50,000. Solid waste, 600,000. Biomass, around 100,000. Total, 1,050,000. Then, back to my previous graphic, you see that my consideration took that we are going to keep a little bit above what is forecast in this study from ICRA. That means only 50% of the performance of Europe in 2016. It's a lot to do. My analysis, I use these numbers. This Brazilian one, I used the one for the roadmap for Brazil. The worst case in the Brazilian roadmap is 29% in 2030. Then I use these figures, these assumptions for the other countries, and as I arrived in 22.5. You see that we go from this level of waste to that level 3 times more to be required to go from this to that point. Okay, tires, liquid waste, solid waste, and biomass. Okay, of course, to do this, a lot of waste investment will be required. In terms of potential, you said, we are going to, the co-processing activity has a reduction of CO2 emission in 2016, 1.650 million tons of CO2 were avoided due to the co-processing activity, and with this will be with 22% of fuel replacement, we achieve this figure. That's very important to eliminate CO2 emissions. Waste, as you saw in the previous slide, 3 times increase. Petcoke, we have, let's say, we avoid the consumption of 650,000 tons of petcoke right now, 2016. And if we go to 22.5, we are going to avoid 1,760,000 tons of petcoke. And of course, avoid billions of investment in landfills and dedicated waste treatment plant. Difficulties. Except Brazil, there is a lack of information data from cement industry. Very poor promotion of activity by cement industry. I don't know why the South American companies do not want to promote the co-processing together. Permit process time consuming and unpredictable in some areas. Lack of policy and regulation concerns waste as source of energy. There is no governmental specific policy and plan concerning CO2 emission reduction for the cement industry. It's time to have some movements in Brazil and Argentina. A strong influence of the landfill activity, no landfill taxation at all. A better knowledge of cement industry is required to go to co-processing in many countries. Lack of high-quality waste fuel blend installation. Brazil we do have, but in other countries we do not have. And of course, there is a kind of public disapproval of waste combustion. We have to go and to show to them that's not a problem. Opportunities. Most of cement kilns with precaution installation. Municipal waste is becoming a big issue, most for the big cities. Many countries looking for implement reverse logistics for waste, and those existing in Brazil and Chile for tires. CO2 emission is becoming an important matter might be one pillar to force the co-processing. Competition among the industry, it's very important. We have plants that with 30%, 25% has a cost reduction for clinker around €5 per ton compared for the companies that they do not co-process. High amount of biomass is available in the area. It's an opportunity, the development of activity of waste treatment. There is a lot, only tires in Brazil has a lot of work, a lot of economy going through this treatment of tires, for instance. And the importation of RDF and used tires, shred tires, might be an opportunity. And my final slide, what actions is required? I got the most important one for me, it's communication, communication, communication. Cement industry has to communicate how good is co-process. Conjoint action of the countries, maybe cement industry association by FICEM can help doing that. Well, FICEM now has, I heard, only 2 people working for FICEM. Waste and living in the United States. Waste management policy promoted the use of waste officers. These are other 2. A better knowledge of the cement industry operation in order to improve co-processing performance is required. And of course, guys, investment. And from the book Collapse on Jared Diamond, I finalized my presentation saying that the new technologies are not required. We have the co-processing to solve our problem. Only a political will to implement existing solution is there. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much indeed for a fantastic presentation. You gave us a lot of information there, lots of data, and lots to mull over. We have one very quick question, and that is, what is reverse logistics?
I'm sorry, maybe it's an English problem. There is a law that obliges for the producer of the goods to take it back when finished life.
Okay, so extended producer responsibility.
Yes.
We would say.
Yeah.
How? Okay. And where does that apply? Is it only in Brazil or?
For tires, only Brazil and Chile.
Right. And so that leads to nearly 100% tire recycling. How is that actually enforced?
It was in 2003, we had a regulation in Brazil that obliged the tires industry to collect 5 tires for each 4. Why 5 to 4? Each tires, 5 tires has been collected for 4 new tires, each 4 new tires. Because at that time you had a huge amount of tires spread, used tires spread for the country, and had the disease of mosquitoes that was in these tires, and pick the people, and we have a very large disease epidemic in Brazil that's forced the government to make it. Mm-hmm. And nowadays, as all the passive has been cleaned, it's 1 by 1.
Okay, that's very interesting. How does the change in president affect future industrial developments, particularly in terms of alternative fuels?
I am very confident in that. I had the opportunity to work with the Minister of Environment of Brazil now, the new one. And he was the Secretary of Environment in São Paulo. And one day they called us, the cement industry in São Paulo, and they said, why do not you burn waste here? And we said, because the province of São Paulo does not allow. They called the technicians and said, I want to sign a regulation in 15 days to allow to burn waste in co-processing in São Paulo. Work together, guys. Cement industry and you from the environment agents. And I would say it was not 15 days, it was 1 month we had the regulation and we start to be approved to. That guy is now the minister of the new government.
Okay.
It's why I do believe.
So do you think that that kind of approach could spread throughout all of the rest of the provinces and nationally in Brazil?
The other provinces in Brazil, it's already okay. We burn a lot of waste, tires in waste in other provinces. The most difficult one was São Paulo, okay? But I do believe that we can spread this philosophy for the other countries too. Many of the countries, as I said, the minister of the Argentina environment came to Brazil just to see how we solve this virus problem in Brazil. Because they had the same problem of the epidemic of mosquitoes in Argentina.
Okay, are there any questions from the real world for Francisco? Okay. We thank you once again. Thank you very much.